But I'm fine not having Hopkins on DraftKings. I think that Hamler's a little bit too thin for cash. So I think I would probably take the second one there. Mike, yeah, thanks for joining up. Mike got in our Discord last night. There's still time if you guys are interested in a subscription, dfskarma.com/shop. We have affordable pricing. Answered a lot of questions in Discord this morning. A lot of people have some really good builds in there from what I've seen. Is it true about the weather? I read somewhere saying I haven't checked weather. I normally check weather like after this before I type in my core plays on the website, but I mean, I don't have a ton of pieces of that game anyways. Wind would be, a slight concern, maybe for someone like Hamler, but I haven't checked weather a ton. I'll pull it up real quick here though. Cooper or Lockett straight up on Fanduel. I would take Cooper, I think, slightly. Yeah, keep the questions coming, guys. I'm gonna answer as many of these as I can. Deontay Johnson and Waller or Robinson and Higbee. That's tough. I don't like Waller or Higbee much. Higbee took a big hit with Milano and Tremaine Edmonds being active. So I would probably I don't know. I would probably take the first one, but I don't really like Waller or Higbee. I would want I like Hurst for tournaments. I like Jonnu Smith. I would probably want one of those two guys. Yeah, I mean Arizona stacks chalk. I think it's good chalk. Like I'm playing Arizona in cash. I think it's fine. I think like if you play all three of them though, like if you play Kyler, Drake, and Hopkins, you probably want a Lions guy on the other side. But I mean, they're probably going to score. I mean, they have a 30-point implied team total for a reason. Like they're going to score a lot of points. Detroit's defense is really bad. Is Hopkins a must play? No, I don't think he's a must play on DraftKings. I think that he's going to be chalky, and there's routes to get to him, but I don't think he's a must play. Mini stack with Chubb and McLaurin. Yeah, Chubb in particular is going to be really low owned. The Browns do have a decent team total. 7-point home favorites is where you're going to want to use Chubb this year because they're going to run the ball if they get out ahead. So I think that's fine. I like McLaurin a lot. I have McLaurin on a decent amount of my tournament teams on both sides. I think McLaurin's a really good play. I do think Denzel Ward's going to play, though. I haven't seen official word on that. I'm going to try and check that. I do think he's going to play, but Ward doesn't shadow, so they'll be able to move McLaurin around and get him off of him. Do you think KJ Hamler in cash, or would you not go there? I mean, I think he's fine. I think he's going to have ownership. I just think he's a little bit too risky for cash because with Judy in, like he's going to be in on 3 wide sets. He probably won't be in when it's 2 because they have Patrick still. But Hamler's the type of guy, like he doesn't need to do much at 3K. Like one play and he could pay off that price tag. So, I think he's a fine play. But cash, like, just better for tournaments, in my opinion, than cash. Bo, what's up? You got any questions for me? You go ahead and ask. I know you're Anthony's boy. Any interest in Golden State? Yeah, Golden State. So I wrote about that in my game-by-game article. I think Golden State and Slayton both are decent tournament plays with Shepard out. But the more I thought about it, like I wrote up Golden State in the game-by-game article, but the more I thought about it throughout the weekend, I actually think that Slayton might be the better play just because we know he has that strong connection with Daniel Jones. I mean, they've scored how many touchdowns together over the last season and a half. So I think Slayton might actually be better than Tate, and I actually think it's a sneaky spot. I might make a low-dollar tournament lineup with Daniel Jones after we get off here because I actually... Like, the more I researched that game, I did think it was interesting. Like, the San Fran defense is so banged up, and we know Jones has a ceiling because he can run the ball. So I actually think in tournaments that's a decent play. I've seen so many questions. This 2v2 Hopkins and Hamler seeding Deontay. I think that's going to be a popular decision this week, but I'm going to stick with the second one. Taylor or Zeke in cash? Taylor for me. Love Zeke in tournaments, but Taylor is like $1,000 too cheap on both sites. It's just ridiculous. Favorite cash defense? Yeah, you guys love the defense questions. I think that the Giants at home are fine. I think the Eagles at home are fine. I think some people might drop down to like the Jets or the Texans because they're so cheap again. But for DraftKings, Eagles, Giants, really like the Patriots at 3,200. I couldn't get to them in cash, but I think they're a really strong play. That's too cheap, in my opinion. They should probably be about 400 or 500 more. So I like the Patriots a lot. But for cash, it's probably Giants or Eagles, one of those two. Henry, yeah, Alt, that's Sam's boy in chat here. This could be Sam. Since now Sam is not on the stream with me, this could be Sam asking me questions from his burner. But Henry, low ownership, burned everyone last week. The touches are still there. Yeah, I wrote it in my article. He has over 50 rushing attempts this season and no touchdowns, which is just pure bad luck. Minnesota literally could not tackle Jonathan Taylor last season. So Henry, I said it in final thoughts. Henry this week is my Aaron Jones of last week. I had 100% Aaron Jones in tournaments last week, and I'm going to have close to 100% Derrick Henry in tournaments this week. DraftKings cash, Hopkins, Jonathan Taylor, Singletary, Drake, Henry, Lockett. Give me the first one, I think. Richard, what about Bird? Yeah, I think Bird's a good play. So I actually didn't talk about him a ton in my game-by-game article, but 3K is such a good play. I have a couple different variations of my cam stack. So I have Bird in one of them, so I think he's a good play. Definitely not Sam. Yeah, I would hope not. Nobody wants to be Sam, so I'm in agreement with that one. Hopkins or Drake in cash. I mean, it's tough to just straight up pick one of those two, but I think you need Drake in cash personally. He's just too cheap on both sides, so I'm going to be playing him in both my main lineups. Carson, Sanders, Connor, Taylor, pick 3. Give me Sanders, Taylor, and Carson for that one. Sneakiest low-owned running back that won't be owned for tournaments. Tony, what's up, man? I haven't talked to you in a minute, but I don't know. I don't like ownership's tough. Like so much ownership's going to be concentrated on Taylor, Sanders, Drake, Zeke. Like those guys are going to get so much ownership. So I like Connor for low ownership at the running back position. I like both of the Los Angeles Chargers guys, Kelly and Eckler. I like both of them. Connor, I think, is really interesting because on DraftKings, everyone's going to be playing Deontay. So you're going to get some natural leverage there by taking their running back, big home favorite, bad defense. I mean, the Texans have been run all over by Edwards-Helaire, the Ravens last week. So I think Connor's a really strong play. Let me see. I lost where I'm at. Thoughts on Derrick Henry for DraftKings? I think he's fine. I don't think you need him in cash games, but like I said, for tournaments, I'm going to have him. I might have him on all 4. I'd have to check. Like I have 4 tournament teams. I may have him on all 4. If not, I have him on 3 for sure. I'll have to check. I can't remember. Zeke, Taylor, Drake, or Sanders, Taylor, Drake. Give me the second one, Chad. Singletary, Humphreys, or Drake, Hamler, and Cash. Second one. I have Kyler, Henry, and Lamb, or Drake and Cooper. Still give me the first one. I like Henry and Lamb there, I think. And if it's for cash, Drake and Cooper. For tournaments, give me the first one. Do you think Julio plays? I do not think Julio plays. I haven't seen any word on that though. If we get that news, post it in chat. I'll try and pull it up. I haven't seen word on that. I don't actually think he's going to play, but like, it's a weird situation because your natural thought would be if Julio's out, like you're gonna want Calvin Ridley, right? But the more I thought about it over the weekend, we talked about it in Discord. I think that him being out might actually, like, he takes up so much attention on an opposing defense, like it really frees things up for Ridley. So if he's out, the defense is going to be keying on Ridley, especially with how he's played this week. So I think that Julio being out, MJV actually bumps Russell Gage and Hayden Hurst more than it does Ridley for me. And I have a good amount of Hurst in tournaments. I have some Gage as well. Colin, Falcons D on Fanduel. I think that's fine. They're really cheap, 3,200 on Fanduel. I don't have them, but I don't mind. Like, if you really like your lineup with them in, I don't really care about defense. I normally just put in whatever fits. Metcalf or Lockett, Fanduel tournaments. I feel really good about DK this week. I think Lockett's a super strong play. Lockett projects slightly better in our projections, but I like Metcalf slightly more. Lockett Eagles or Cooper Giants. Brian, give me the first one. Lockett or Metcalf cash. Yeah, it's still Metcalf for me, honestly. Is there Salmon, our boy? I know there's some people watching that are big fans of you, Salmon. So it's good to see you in here. Is there a wide receiver at 4.8 on DraftKings you would play in cash? I mean, I think you could drop down to Harry at 42, but I don't like anybody in that straight range. Like, Mike Williams is interesting, but I wouldn't play him in cash. So I think I'd either, like, if you're at 4.8, I would move some stuff around and get up to Lamb or Deontay, or I would move some stuff around and go down to Harry or, maybe even Hamler, but I like Harry more than Hamler in cash games. Frank, what's up, man? I hope you're doing well. Favorite stack today? It's probably the Patriots, but I do, like I said, I have 4 on DraftKings. I got Seahawks, Patriots, Eagles, and Bills, but the Patriots are my favorite one. I think the Patriots smashed today. I think Cam's ceiling is so high with how he's been running the ball. Like, if if they get in close, he's going to take it in himself. And I think they'll be able to put up a lot of points today. Cash, Zeke, or Hopkins for the flex position. I mean, if you're picking one of those two, I feel safer with Zeke. I'll always take the high volume running back over the receiver because you're going to get 6 or 7 targets from Zeke, and you're also going to get 20 plus carries. So you're guaranteed, 23, 24 touches from Zeke, barring an injury, whereas, Hopkins is going to get you, a decent floor, but it's not the type of floor that a running back does because you're getting a mini wide receiver in someone like Zeke. So I always lean the running back for questions like that. Problem playing Eckler, Taylor, and Sanders in cash? No, I don't have any problems with it. Eckler is another guy similar to Henry. Ton of touches this year, but hasn't found the end zone yet. Panthers give up a ton of rushing production, and I think both Kelly and Eckler can easily both have big games in this matchup. I actually bet the Panthers, though, weirdly enough. I don't know how great I feel about that, but I did bet the Panthers plus 6.5. That was one of my 3 bets this week. Red or blue icy? Now this is the type of question that we can ask. I like both, but I always lean red if I'm picking one for sure. Thomas or Sample, DraftKings cash? Yeah, I think this is another one that will be a popular decision. I'm leaning Thomas. I'm telling you guys, I live in Ohio. I have 2 screens up every week, 2 or 3 screens, and I'm watching Red Zone and a couple games. I have the Browns game on every week, and it's been like my whole lifetime. I feel like they just can't cover tight ends. And now with their new coaching staff, like they don't really, like they're not valuing the linebacker position that high. They don't have any linebackers. Like they just can't cover tight ends. Like I really think Thomas is going to score this week. Yeah, that's a good pivot. Juju, everyone is going to play Deontay. So Juju is similar to Connor, like really strong pivot off of Deontay in tournaments. In a Josh Allen stack, do I play Singletary or Josh Kelly? I mean, that's a tough one. I have, I think in my stack, I have Josh Allen, Singletary, Stephon Diggs, and Cooper Kupp on the run back. So I think you could play Singletary in that stack. I don't have a problem with it. Jonnu over Thomas if you have the extra cash. Yeah, that's fine. No issues with that. I know Matt wasn't on the Game Theory pod this week, but he really likes Jonnu from talking to him throughout the week. So I don't have problems with that. Any news on Jacobs or Edelman? Think they play? Yeah, I think they're both playing. Jacobs, I think for sure is playing. I think I saw that. Edelman, I would assume is playing. I haven't seen anything. I don't think it was that bad to where he was going to miss the game. Russ naked in cash, okay. I have Drake and Hopkins and 600 on the table. Yeah, I don't mind it. I don't have any problems with it. I don't have that in my personal build, but I don't have any issues doing that. Like, there's like Kyler's gonna be really chalky, but I mean Russ could easily outperform him with how he's been playing. Top 2 sleeper picks in cash. I don't know if I have sleepers for cash. I think my lineup is pretty chalky. But I mean, if you wanted like a sleeper for cash, it's probably like getting up to Henry because I don't think he's gonna be super high owned, especially on Fanduel. Like Fanduel, where you don't get the full point PPR, Henry is a pretty strong cash play, I think. Who is my New England stack? I have Cam Edelman and I have Cam Bird. So I have 2 different ones. I don't think you need to run that stack back though, because like I said, I just think that Patriots win very easily. I think that Bill is going to scheme Waller out of the game, and Jacobs is really hurt by being down. You know, Jacobs is someone that you need to be winning, to feel really good about, similar to like a Nick Chubb. So I don't think you need to run that back with anybody. I'm just cool just straight stacking the Patriots. 300 to spare on FanDuel cash. Move up to Russ from Kyler. Sure, I have no problems with that at all. I think that's actually a decent move. Daniel Jones, Slayton, and stack with Seattle, Dallas. Yeah, that's good. That's like exactly what I'm talking about. You don't have to get super weird. You can get a couple lower owned guys and fill in with the chalkier guys, and you're going to be probably in a good position in tournaments if your lower owned guys hit. Keaton, what's up? Michael Pittman. I think he's fine in tournaments. Interesting spot. I don't know how well his game fits with old man Phillip Rivers. Like, I don't think Rivers is as washed as other people do, but you would assume Pascal gets a bump playing in the slot, and he's been looking for Ty. They just haven't really connected. So I think Pittman's fine in tournaments, but not one of my favorite plays. Yeah, Charger stack, running back with Moore is a good play. I talked about Moore on that Friday podcast with Bales as well. Moore is top 10 in opportunity this season at the wide receiver position, just hasn't found the end zone. They've looked for him in the end zone a couple times. So eventually that's going to positively correct. And, you know, I think DJ Moore is one of the best plays or just best receivers in the league. So I think he can get there, especially at low ownership. Is Lamb still a cash lock? Hamler too thin for cash? Yeah, personally, I just don't know if I can die today with Hamler in my cash lineup. Like, if I die, I would rather die with guys that I feel a little bit safer about. So I think Hamler's fine in tournaments, but I'm personally playing CD in cash, and I just feel really strong about CD in general this week. Favorite Cowboys receiver for FanDuel tournaments? I mean, I love CD this week, but Michael Gallup is going to be so low owned. I think he's a really strong play in tournaments again. Any idea on ownership for Eagles and Giants D? I think they'll both be pretty chalky on DraftKings. I think Eagles will be slightly higher owned. Milan, yeah, thanks for following the content. I know you're in Discord as well, so thank you for that. What's good, Ben? What do you think about mini stack with McLaurin and Chubb? Yeah. Oh yeah. You asked this earlier. Yeah, I think that's a good move. Chubb is the guy you want to play when they're expected to be winning, which they are today. And I have McLaurin on a lot of my tournament teams. I think he's a really good play today. Eckler and Reed or Drake and Dallas Goedert in DraftKings tournaments. Give me the first one. Ridley or Lamb? That's a tough question. That's a little bit of a price difference, right? Because Ridley is what, 72 on DraftKings, Lamb's in that mid 5K range, and then on FanDuel Ridley's 8K and Lamb is under 6K. So that's a little bit of a tougher question. I mean, I prefer Lamb, but I mean, if you have the money to get to Ridley, I'm not opposed to it, but like I said, I think that Julio being out would actually hurt Ridley more than it would help him, because he's already, like, Ridley's been playing so well, scoring touchdowns, right? Like, how much better can he get? And if you take Julio off the field, that's just gonna attract more attention to him on the defensive side. So I think it hurts him a little bit more than it helps him. No Hopkins and cash on DraftKings. Yeah, James, I think that's the question of the slate. I don't think I'm going to end up with him in cash. It pains me, but I like my lineup a little bit better without him, and I'll have him on Fanduel, so I'll feel a little bit better about it since I have him there. I don't know, man. It's tough. Like, I'm never going to feel great like not having him, but I don't think you need him on DraftKings. Moore, McLaurin, Cup, Godwin, pick 3 for PPR. Give me Godwin. Give me Godwin, McLaurin, and probably DJ Moore. DJ Moore has more opportunity share than Cup, so I'll choose him. But Godwin and McLaurin for sure, 1 and 2 for me. DraftKings cash Lockett or Metcalf. It's Metcalf for me. Deontay's chalk on DraftKings, Tony. I think he is good chalk. I'll be playing him in my cash lineup. You can get off him in tournaments. Fanduel is interesting because I don't think he's going to have as much ownership there. So I think he's a more interesting play on Fanduel. Favorite player to bring back from the Raiders in a Cam stack? Yeah, I don't think you need to bring someone back, but if you're going to, probably Renfro, I guess. As gross as that is, I would probably pick Renfro. Eagles onslaught running back with Green. Yeah, I think that's a good move. I have an Eagles stack. Singletary, Carson, or Drake Eckler for FanDuel tournaments. That's a tough one. Give me the first one, I guess. That's a tough one. That's really close. For projection wise, that would probably be like a point off, I think. But yeah, give me the first one. Craig, Mike Evans ownership. He's gonna be pretty low owned. I prefer Godwin, but I think they'll both be low owned, and I think you can use them as a one off. Sam, and burning question: who is more dust, Brady or Breeze? Oh my god. I don't know. It's probably Breeze. Okay, so we just got the Julio news. He's officially out, which I kind of broke that down already. That I think that's a big bump for Gage. I think it's a big bump for Hurst. Probably hurts really a little bit more than it helps him. But going back to the Brady Breeze thing, it's probably Breeze. But Breeze has the advantage because the Saints are so good at running the ball. They can easily cover up his inefficiencies, whereas Brady has to be good for the Bucs to be good. Should I throw in Jonnu over Moore at flex? If you're talking DJ Moore, I would say no. I know I'm reaching, but how do you feel about Burkhead today? I can't play Rex Burkhead on a 13 game main slate. I played him in prime time last weekend, but I can't play him on a 13 game main slate. Mike Williams, I think, is a fine tournament play every week. I don't know when I'm gonna get Mike Williams right because I seem to play him every week that he just gets unlucky. So maybe one day I'll get him right, but I do think he's fine in tournaments. Yeah, so we've been talking about this all weekend in Discord. Like this this freaking Vikings Titans game. I don't know what to make of this because like neither of the like you're not expecting the Vikings to play fast, right? So I don't know why the total on this game keeps going up. It could be an overreaction to just how the Titans have been playing this year, but I don't know what to make of it. It's weird, but I mean you have to respect it because it's up to 50, right? Like you have to respect the total. I just don't know why it's that high. Zeke or Henry FanDuel cash. If you have the money to get to Zeke, I'd play him, but I do like Henry a good bit there. Can I play Dan Arnold in cash? Look, I think Dan Arnold's a little bit too thin for cash, but at the same time, I'm cool just taking the cheapest tight end that fits your roster every week. I don't have a problem with it. You know, if he catches a couple balls, you'll be feeling pretty good about him. He's under 3K. I don't think Gage is a cash lock, but I think he is playable in cash. Yeah, I don't have a problem with that. Minnesota defense is not good. Yeah, their defense is really bad. They need Danielle Hunter back pretty bad. Favorite DraftKings GPP wide receiver. I'll give you three. I like Terry McLaurin a lot. I like Julian Edelman a lot. And I like Allen Robinson a lot. That's probably my three favorites. Pittman, yeah, I think he's fine in tournaments, but Keaton asked about him earlier, funny enough. I don't know like if he fits super well with Phillip Rivers. Like I would personally probably rather play I would rather play Zach Pascal than Pittman, I think, just because I know Pascal's gonna be in the slot and Phillip Rivers loves to throw to his slot receivers. T.Y. Hilton ownership is going to be low. I think that's a fine play in tournaments, Taylor. No issues with that. Another guy that's been unlucky, I don't know. So Ty has been unlucky and he's just been dropping touchdowns. But I mean, even if you want to say that Ty Hilton is like washed, I don't think just because you're washed you would just randomly start dropping easy touchdowns. So I think Ty is a good play. Punt tight end and Fanduel cash is Logan Thomas. Yeah, for sure. I like him the most. But for Fanduel, Andy, I actually think Dallas Goedert's gonna be pretty chalky at 51 or 52, whatever he is. But I like Thomas. KJ Hamler and Cash. Yeah, we've talked about this a little bit. I think he's a little bit too thin for Cash personally. I won't be playing him. Is McKinnon chalk? No, I don't think he's chalk. I think McKinnon's fine in tournaments, but not someone I'm running to play in, which is weird because I love Jerick McKinnon in real life, but I don't know. I think he's good enough that if he's on the field and they're throwing to him, he's going to have a big game. Hurst over Logan Thomas now. If you have the money, for sure, you can play Hayden Hurst over Logan Thomas. I don't have the money on either site to do that, but I just hedged and have a lot of Hurst in tournaments. I'll probably be on for another 10 minutes or so if you guys have any last minute questions, get those in. I'm going to hop off and really look at this Falcons situation before I type in my core plays on the website. Any last minute injuries? Yeah, Harry should play. I'm pretty sure he's playing. Justin Herbert in a 3-max on DraftKings. Yeah, I don't have any Herbert, but I actually think I think you can play anybody against Carolina, and he looked surprisingly good last week, man. I did not like Herbert coming out of college, but I mean, he looked good running the ball. He kept him in the game against the Super Bowl champs, man. I can't say anything bad about Justin Herbert last week. Hunter Henry or Hurst, good plays. I think they're both good plays. I prefer Hurst, though, with Julio out. Who should I run back Titan stack with? Thielen, for sure. For sure, Adam Thielen. Derrick Henry or Jonathan Taylor? Taylor and Cash, Henry in tournaments. I like Josh Kelly a lot as well. I think that's a good call. I have him on one of my tournament teams. Surprised you didn't play Adam Thielen in the list for favorite DraftKings. Yeah, I think Thielen's fine. I don't know. I don't have any problems with him. Trubisky, Robinson, Ridley tournament. That's a good build. I don't have any issues with that. I think Trubisky could easily have a big game against Atlanta. I'm actually kind of worried I didn't end up with any of him. I think he could easily have a big game. Elon Musk is in chat asking about Tyler Higbee. I will pass on Higbee with Milano and Edmonds in. I will pass on Higbee. Needed them to be out to take a tight end against Buffalo. Arnold, Gage, or Thomas, Harry, DraftKings cash. Give me the second one. Murray, Hopkins, Isabella reaching too far? No, I don't think that's fine in tournaments. Just I would want like Marvin on the opposite side if you're gonna do that in tournaments. Gore in tournaments, he had 20 touches. I can't play Frank Gore. I think that the Jets and the Raiders are like the two teams that could just get absolutely blitzed this week and just get blown out again. I can't play. I just can't play Frank Gore. Is Schultz worth a play in tournaments? I think he's a fine tournament play, but I prefer Jonnu, Hurst, guys like that. Prefer Thomas to him, honestly, too, even at high ownership. Tampa Bay bet points or money line. I'm not on that game betting wise. Like for bets, I like the Patriots. I like the Patriots to cover, Panthers to cover. I guess under on that Vikings game if the total keeps rising, I think is interesting as well. I don't like to bet unders though in the NFL. Hurst or Jonnu Fanduel cash? Give me Hurst. Struggling with Lockett and DK, James. Yeah, the same thing for me. I'm actually a Lockett guy, but I can't like. We think of DK as like the guy that's got the high ceiling but not the low floor. But if you look at his last, I don't know, 8 games, 9 games, like he's actually had a pretty high floor. And if you wanna give him a high floor with his upside, and Dallas is missing a ton of guys on defense. Awuzie's out as well. Like I gotta side with DK. I think I don't know that freaking touchdown against Gilmore sold me on him for sure. Goff under 264. I don't think I would take the under there. I don't know if I'd bet the over, but that's a tough line because I think that game shoots out, and I think that the Rams are going to have to throw much more than they did in the first 2 games. So he could get there just like on a pure volume standpoint. My non-DFS question, Funko Pops. Yeah, me and my brother are into Funko Pops. I got a lot of them. He has way more than I do. I have like some Office ones. I got like Patrick Mahomes one. I have Babe Ruth one. A lot of ones from like TV shows that I watch mainly. A couple Game of Thrones ones, some Harry Potter ones, but my brother has like my brother has like 70 freaking Funkos. He's a massive collection. And he gets like the ones like the really rare ones. I don't know. He gets them like when they come out or something. I don't know. I don't have time to like do that. So I just collect ones that interest me if I see them. Miles Sanders in tournaments I think is fine. He's going to be chalk, but man, it's a good chalk spot for Miles Sanders, dude. I just can't in good conscience not play him in tournaments even in this matchup, man. And I'm also like I'm a Sanders guy at heart. Kyler or Cam and Fanduel cash? Kyler and cash. Just get some Cam in tournaments, but you got to play Kyler and cash. Driscoll and Hambler. I don't think I could do that, Eric. I would rather play someone like Herbert or Daniel Jones. I'm going to play like a really low owned quarterback. Devin Singletary RJ is a fine play in tournaments. I didn't end up with him in cash, but I don't have any problems with him. Summary of ins and outs. The only outs I know of that are like big, if you're talking like offensive players, is Julio's out and like Duke Johnson's out. Everyone else is in for the most part. Like Galladay's in. I think both Edelman and Harry will be in. Anyone else that we were really questionable is in. I don't think there's a ton of huge outs. More often we'll play more early games or late games. I don't have a huge opinion there. Like I think the best plays are the best plays regardless of what time their game starts. So I don't worry about that as much. Like today the late games are really good, so I'll have a lot of late game exposure, but it's just because those games are so good. Updated list of top TV shows. I'll have to really think about that. I'll put one out on Twitter. I've been going through Lost again, which is my favorite. Lost is my favorite TV show ever. And I'm like in the middle of rewatching that. It's so good. If you guys haven't watched Lost, you need to go watch it. Julio Jones game time decision jack up the Atlanta stat hero stack. Yeah, so Julio's out. I don't know if it messes it up because you could play Russell Gage and no, I don't know. I don't think I would want Atlanta on stat hero actually. Now that I think about that. Whoever asked that question, what is Stat Hero's stack? Like, what are you going against? And then I'll give you some that I would like opposite that. Josh Allen stacks, of course. Every single week I will play Josh Allen. I have him on one of my main tournament teams. He is going to be sub 5% owned again. Like, if he was 5% owned against Miami, no one's going to play him against the Rams. Top pair of wide receivers for early only DraftKings, McLaurin and Allen Robinson. I would want those two in, I think. Kittle's out. Yeah, that's another one. Everyone on the freaking Niners team is out. That's like that just goes to show, man. You get to the Super Bowl, you can't take it lightly. You got to win because I mean their team is just dust, dude. Anyone of value on their team got hurt, man. They have like no shot. Who is the best play of the day? I mean, he's chalk, but it's probably Miles Sanders or Jonathan Taylor, honestly. Derrick Henry in tournaments is probably my favorite play. All right, we got like, I don't know, 5 more minutes. If you guys got last minute questions, get them in. I'm going to type my core plays in, I think. Actually, I'm going to check our projections and see if anything changed with Julio being out. Lock in cash games. I mean, Taylor and Sanders, again, I think are both locks. I think Drake is lock as well. I'm just playing those 3 running backs. I don't care. Josh Jacobs or Dalvin Cook? Dalvin Cook, 100%. I like Josh Jacobs a lot. I have a lot of dynasty shares of Josh Jacobs, but it's tough for me to, like, if I think that the Raiders are going to get slammed, it's tough for me to trust Josh Jacobs because I don't know why they don't want to throw him the ball. Like, they've thrown him the ball a little bit more this year, but Josh Jacobs was extremely good catching the football in college, and I just don't know why they don't want to throw him the ball. It's really weird to me. DK Metcalf or McLaurin in Fanduel tournaments. So if you have other pieces of Seattle Dallas in that lineup, give me McLaurin. If you have no Seattle Dallas, give me Metcalf. Drake or Allen Robinson? I would take Drake still, personally. And I really like this is the spot for Robinson, man. Like if he doesn't go off this week, like you just can't really I don't know. You can't expect Robinson to go off in any matchup if he doesn't go off this week. But it's not even Robinson. It's just freaking Trubisky, man. That's really what it is. Ridley got a bump in points when Julio got ruled out, thinking more people would Ridley. Yeah, that's fine. If people want to go to Ridley, that's fine. But like, I'm not playing Ridley over Hopkins, and I'm not like changing my lineup around a lot to get Ridley in because it's going to be really easy for them to double cover him. Bumps Hurst and Gage. Yeah, I like Hurst and Gage both with Julio out. Season-long half-point PPR, Robert Woods or Montgomery. I would take Montgomery. Better game, or like better matchup, and I think Woods is going to see a lot of Tre'Davious White. So I actually have Woods on a couple season-long teams. I'm benching him this week. All right. Let's see here. We're 45 minutes in. We're probably about to wrap this up. Gage safe for cash, Frank. I think he is safe for cash. I will not personally be playing him, but I wouldn't have an issue. Like if you love your lineup and he fits in, you can do it. I don't have an issue with that. But thank you guys for watching today. I know it was just me, so probably a little bit less entertaining. But there's still time if you guys are interested in our core plays. Head over to the website, pick up a package, get into Discord. You control Anthony and Sam and Bales. You control everybody. I mean, you control me too, but it's more fun to troll them. If you pick a package up, and I know, like, I feel really confident in our team, and it's worth it. Like, we have, like, you can get in for like $15, which is, $15 is a lot to some people, but relative to other websites' pricing, it's not that much. How sad are you gonna be? Scared to tear up the Browns? Yeah. I think the Browns win, but I think the football team could cover. And McLaurin, I think, is going to have a big game. Yeah, Brian, I do really like Terry. Singletary or Drake for cash? It's Drake. And is it realistically safe to expect 6 to 8 targets for KJ? I think 5 is probably more along the lines, but he only needs 1 play and he could get to 10 points, right? So that's why I feel a little bit better about him than normal 3K guys. But I still think he's a little bit too risky for cash. It's not a great matchup, but thank you guys for watching. I'll be back on the cash process probably tomorrow afternoon/evening, maybe Tuesday. The only reason we did Tuesday last week is because there were so many injuries, but probably tomorrow for the cash process. And if you guys need anything else, I'll be in Discord up until lock. You can hit me up there. And I'll see you guys on the cash process tomorrow.